Alright guys, so we just picked up my car from the dealership because they had to work on some weird things. Something came up on the dashboard. But today, you guys, we are going thrifting. And a little funny story because this morning, for some reason, I couldn't find my Canon SD1000. I don't know where the hell it went. I'm just gonna say right now that it's lost. And so with that said, the goal today is to find a digital small point and shoot, and hopefully we can find one by the end of the day and show you guys what we get. So without further ado, let's go thrifting. Alright, so a little more on the story this morning, guys. I think I threw away my Canon SD1000. It was inside of a bag. I thought the bag was trash, and so I ended up just putting it in the trash. Truck came and picked it up, and it might be gone. So unless it pops up somewhere in the next couple of weeks, I'm just gonna assume that it's gone, and hopefully today we could find something to kind of replace it. Now the last couple of times I've been to this thrift store, it has been kind of dead. It's really just hit or miss. And that's how most of these thrift stores are nowadays. It used to be very consistent with the flow of everything, but now it really just seems like you gotta come at the right time and get extremely lucky. So for example, ooh, look at this guy. Sony CyberShot. 14 megapixels, $498. A lot of toy cameras I'm seeing. Look at this thing, a Bentley BX3. These are just like those generic type of film cameras that not everyone shoots with. I'm gonna leave that one alone. It's just not really worth my time. This one right here, this is a Sony CyberShot. This is one that actually looks interesting. It doesn't have a battery, but with the proper battery and maybe a memory card, or I should say SD card, this could actually be really fun to shoot with. All right, so it looks like we have a few more of these digital cameras. They're not really carrying many film cameras nowadays. I just realized that, but that one right there looks really interesting. I want to check that one out for sure. Yeah, can I see these 3 cameras right here, please?
Yeah, of course.
Okay. All right, we made it to the next thrift store. The one up in Sacramento was completely dry, but we did pick up 2 cameras, so we're checking out the one over here, and hopefully we could find some more good stuff to replace my lost camera. But let's get in here. It's been a minute since I've been in this one. Look at this thing, y'all. It has like a little viewfinder. Sorry, just a EOS Rebel with a 35 to 80, asking $100. This is a Sigma 70 to 300 lens. So it's a Nikon lens right here. 28 millimeter 2.8 lens right here. This one's actually not a bad deal. $15.
Is this sparkle to your camera there?
That one? No, that's not mine.
So 16.1.
Thank you. We just got some milk from the store here. I'm actually getting a little bit hungry, so I'm gonna go get something to eat real quick before we move on to the next store. Alright guys, I gotta be honest, this thrift store has been stepping up in terms of camera gear and film photography here, so I'm gonna go towards the back and check it out. Look at that Vivid cam though, still in the packaging. You know what, man, I think I spoke too soon. This is pretty whack. Alright guys, so here is the deal. We have one last thrift store to head to. This one, for some reason, was a bust today. Maybe we just came way too late in the day because it's already like 5 or 6 o'clock. But today wasn't that great other than 3 things that we did find so far. So hopefully this last one we get something good and we can actually make a decent video on it. So let's go. Alright, so their camera section has reduced noticeably, but this right here, the top is open, and if you look inside, there's a little JC2 sticker. It's like a gold sticker that they keep on top of all QC Pass cameras from Japan. So if that camera is what I think it is, it could definitely be the find of the day. It's just gonna be this one here and then this one right here, please. Moment of truth, here is what the pack looks like. Calamar bag. Let's see what's inside of here first before we reveal the inside. It comes with wide Freedom 100 converters. I don't think I've ever seen that before, so here it is. Let's see what it is. Minolta Freedom 100, guys. That is insane. So I didn't expect this camera, honestly. I thought it was going to be like the Canon AF35M or something like that because I saw the red button here. But now I'm interested to see what this wide converter does. Huh. Guys, I've never seen this before. So this is like an attachment that makes it wide angle. That's kind of dope. And for 15 bucks, man, this might actually be something really fun to play with. So, all right, guys, we've encountered a problem. The bottom door does not open. It seems like it's like glued shut. I'm not sure why, but I can't get the dang thing open. So this one, unfortunately, man, is gonna be a no-go. I think that would have been a pretty cool camera to shoot with that wide angle attachment, but it's broken, and I am not gonna buy a broken camera. Alright guys, so we just picked up some coffee. It is officially day 2 of the Thrift series. I wasn't satisfied with how everything went yesterday, so I'm headed back to the very first thrift store that we went to yesterday, and then I'm gonna explore some new ones as well. Hopefully we could find something good because I'm not giving up, man. I think we are gonna find something great today. Let's go. Looks like they're putting out some new stuff here right now, so. Now, I don't know if you guys remember, but yesterday, this camera right here was the one that I was interested in. Just this one right here, please.
This one? Yes.
Yeah.
You're very welcome. So we don't do the ticket anymore? You would have to pay for it right away. Did you want to see anything else before you pay?
We'll pay for it now. Alright, so that camera yesterday was only 50% off. It's at 75% off right now, so it's pretty much gonna be 15 bucks. Alright, feeling good about that one. I'm gonna do one more sweep of the entire warehouse, and then I'm probably gonna head off to the next thrift store. Guys, I have not been to this thrift store in a little bit, but the coffee's kicking in because I'm feeling super energetic. Let's get in here. Let's see what we can find. On to the next. Look at all these bins, you guys. There you go. That's what I'm talking about. Rebel K2. I've actually always wanted one of these. Shout out to Trev Lee. How much are they asking for this? So it looks like it's just the camera body itself. Asking $34.99. That's not bad. How much?
That would be $24.99.
Oh, I'll take it. Thank you.
Have a good day.
You too. Can I see this camera right here, please?
Absolutely.
Thank
This one here?
Yeah.
The lenses as well?
Yes. I'm gonna take this. Thank you. Are you here?
This is a test. This is a test. Alright you guys, check this out. You guys, we are back home now with all of the finds from the Thrift adventure, and I'm gonna go through every single one of them, talk about how much I paid for them, and also why I picked them up. So we have a lot of stuff, man, here, and let's just get straight into it. Alright, so I'll be honest, in this Thrift episode, it was kind of tough. This was split between a total of 2 days. The first day we didn't find much. The second day I think we came up big, but I'm gonna go through some of the smaller stuff first before we move on into the bigger items. Alright, so the first find of the day was actually crazy because I only found one of them at first. Then I came back around and I think one of the workers may have put out another one. And folks, we have here 2 identical cameras. I don't know if you guys can see this, but we paid a grand total of $4.98 for this camera. And we have 2 of them, so I think the total was like about $10 and some change, but ladies and gentlemen, check this out right here. So I mentioned in the video that I may have lost my Canon SD1000, and so I set out to find a digicam. And so this right here, you guys, I guess is gonna be one of the replacements. So here in front of us, we have 2 Sony Steady Shot DSC W610 point and shoot cameras. They are identical. I don't know if you guys can see that here, but man, I am a fan of these very slim, almost boxy looking point and shoot cameras. And the fact that there was 2 of them was absolutely insane. Now, they both did not come with batteries. Oh, wait. I guess they both do have batteries and they both have SD cards. That's crazy. But I do not have a charger for this camera yet. So what I'm gonna do is I'm probably gonna go on Amazon, pick up one of those like $15 wall chargers, and then I'm gonna have 2 cameras that are gonna be functioning really, really well. So obviously there is no battery on here. They both have 14.1 megapixels, which is more than enough for the stuff that I like to do. And overall, you guys, I am very pleased with these pickups right here. I think online they're going anywhere between like $20 to $30, and so the fact that we got 2 of them for the price of pretty much half of one is insane. Sticking to the point and shoot theme, you guys, I came back the next day to check out the camera that I was actually interested in, but the only problem is it was 60 bucks, but it had like a 50% off coupon, so it was like 30 bucks. Ultimately, because that was the first spot of the day, I decided to pass on it, but the next day when I came back, it ended up being 75% off, so I only paid a total of 16 bucks for this camera. So just to show you guys, here is the original price. It was priced at $59.95, but I got it for 75% off, you guys, and that camera is the Panasonic Lumix DMC ZS15. Now this camera is insane because it's a little bit bigger. The main thing that I kind of felt about this camera was that it reminded me a lot of the GR3. The way it feels in the hand, also just the overall kind of vibe that it gives off. I love how the lens here is a little bit off-centered to the left, and at the widest, you guys, this camera goes to 24 millimeters, which is extremely wide, and it's something that you can use for different things like parties or just concerts, functions, anything of that nature. It does have that built-in flash, and the best part is it came with the charger, so I can actually power this on and I can go ahead and make some images. And I really like the controls on it, but you guys, this thing has on the front a Leica kind of stamp. I'm not sure if it's the glass that is Leica or if it is one of the internals, but anything that has Leica on it, people go crazy over. So I'm actually really excited to see how this camera performs. One thing that I do want to do with this camera is do almost like a chrome delete, just make it an all black box. I think that's something that can be really interesting to see. So here it is, the Panasonic Lumix DMC15, and we paid a grand total of 15 bucks for it. Probably one of the best finds from that day. All right, so now that we got all the digital stuff out of the way, we're gonna move over into the film photography gear. So I picked up a total of 2 cameras and 4 different lenses. And the first lens that we're gonna be talking about here is this one right here. So this one was full price. This one was $14.95. And the reason why I picked this lens up is because I haven't really seen too many Nikon AI mount lenses out in the thrift stores. First lens that we got here is just that. We have a Nikon 28mm, or maybe I should say a Vivitar 28mm 2.8 lens in the Nikon AI mount. Now, what I really like about this particular copy is it came with this skylight filter, which means that that front glass is protected. I don't know if you guys can see that. Because this is a Vivitar, a third-party lens brand, some people will say it's not the highest quality, and it might not be, up to par with like the Nikon glass, but the construction and the build of this thing right here feels really, really good. And it's also extremely thin. It's made in Japan, and it has like that AI mount hook for your AI cameras. But what's crazy is the Vivitar version is a little bit smaller. I don't know if you guys can see that. It's a little bit shorter. Just like that, you guys, we have the lens on the camera. I'm actually really, really excited to see how this performs. So far, man, everything looks good. The focus feels nice and smooth. One thing too that I really like about this lens is the hyperfocal scale. I don't know if you guys can see that on the top there. Very reminiscent of like an older Canadian Summicron. Probably one of my favorite pickups of the day, the Nikon mounted Vivitar 28mm 2.8 lens. All right, so the next camera, you guys, came in this gigantic bag. All right, guys, so the camera that we got was the Canon Rebel K2. Now this may look like a very underwhelming piece of gear. It looks like a very cheap Canon, 35mm SLR, but it's super lightweight. And the fact that it does take these, I think they're like CR123A batteries. It's one of the Canon cameras that has all of the same features as something like the Canon EOS 3, or maybe even like the Canon Elan 7, but it comes in a much smaller and much more affordable camera body. So one thing you got to note though is that the grip here on the right side is absolutely bulky. It's also a little bit sticky, so I'm gonna have to use some alcohol on there, some rubbing alcohol, put some on a paper towel, clean that up. But after that, you guys, I'm going to have a very, very nice functioning camera. And if anybody out there has like Canon EF glass from their digital SLRs, like for example the 40mm 2.8, that's the lens that Trev uses on this camera and raves about. It's a really, really nice and fun setup, and it's also a pancake lens, so you're gonna have a really small compact setup for just everyday photography. If you have the 50mm lens, or even if you have like professional L series glass in the EF mount, it will work on the Rebel K2. But the last piece of gear we have in here, guys, was the last find of the day, and it's probably the best because the deal we got on this kit right here is insane. Easily online, this kit would go for anywhere between 200 bucks, but this camera, you guys, is one that I forgot about. It's a camera that I used to own multiples of because they were so reliable when I first started shooting film. And that camera, you guys, is the Canon Spotmatic SP500. Now, did I say Canon? Pentax Honeywell Spotmatic SP500. So there's a couple of different versions. There was the Pentax Asahi SP, Spotmatic SP, but this one right here, they're all pretty much the same. These are great cameras, man. They are fully mechanical. In the episode, I know you guys probably seen me testing out each of the shutter speeds, and if you guys can, hear, it has that classic film camera sound. So the camera itself is in extremely good condition. As you can see here, it says made in Japan, and it's very similar to something that you'd have with like the SRT 101. So the kit itself came with a couple of different lenses. The first one here that I really, really liked was the Super Takumar 55mm f2. Guys, this lens is in magnificent condition. The entire kit is actually in really good condition. I'd probably say this is like a 9 out of 10. The kit also came with a nice 28mm lens right here that's also protected from a filter. So here is the lens. This is kind of like a generic third-party lens, but it's still a 28mm lens. And the last lens that it came with, you guys, is the Super Takumar 135 3.5. So this was a little portrait lens. Very, very good quality, man. These lenses, I keep forgetting just how good Pentax SLRs are, man. These are really, really fun to shoot, and these are all in the screw mount. So grand total for this right here, I paid about 50 bucks for it. I think after tax it was like 55. Like I said, this kit would go online anywhere between $180 to $250, and I got it for a steal, and I'm really excited to put this gear to use. So that's gonna wrap it up pretty much for the thrift episode. I hope you enjoyed it. Thank you all for tuning into this episode. Drop a like and please subscribe down below if you are new to this channel. A lot of you guys are not subscribed, which is crazy, but that's gonna wrap it up. I'll see you in the next one. As always, Minolta Gaming.